Welcome to another episode of Walk with Elias, and I'm your host, Elias J. Williams, 2 L's. And a lot has transpired since my last video. Drew Brees has issued an apology for comments he made earlier in the week. Brittany Brees has also issued an apology. And the players, by way of a very enlightening video put together by Michael Thomas, has gotten the attention of the league. And Roger Goodell had a response in saying that the league was wrong for not listening to its players. And before we touch bases on everything, please, if you find this video informative, like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, I wanna tell you a story. Can I do that? All right, take a walk with me. Once upon a time, people of color, blacks, African Americans, decided that they would go on a world tour against racism, racial inequality, racial injustice, and police brutality. They, however, knew that they need help and went to a trusted ally known as Breezes, who had come to their defense during a previous battle in 2017 that saw him champion their cause, but disagree with how they tackled the issue. However, he still found a way to support them without compromising his own beliefs.
I disagree with what the president said and how he said it. I think it's very unbecoming of the office of the president of the United States to talk like that, to degrade people like that. And obviously, he's disappointing a lot of people. As far as the national anthem protest, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Well, let me say this first. Do I think that there's inequality in this country? Yes, I do. Do I think that there's racism? Yes, I do. I think there's inequality for women in the workplace. I think that there's inequality for people of color, for minorities, for immigrants. But as it pertains to the national anthem, I will always feel that if you are an American, that the national anthem is the opportunity for us all to stand up together, to be unified, and to show respect for our country.
They asked him, would he join them on a tour? And he said, yes. So they hit the road the next morning to begin their trip. Somewhere in This Is Bullshit USA, the bus driver is doing 70 miles per hour in a 60-mile-per-hour zone. You see, he was told by a friend of his who was a cop that we don't really bother you unless you're going more than 10 miles per hour over the limit. Now, Breezes on the other end, whose grandfather was a cop as well, was taught to obey the law and show respect for yourself and others by doing the speed limit. Breeze suddenly felt uncomfortable and shouted above the chatter, hey, you don't think we need to do the speed limit? Like going a little fast. The talking stops. A few people give him a look, and then they continue their conversations. There's another small group, it's a little bit more of the energetic sort, that screams, shut the fuck up, backseat driver. Get a good laugh, and they continue with their conversations. There's one group, however, that can't believe their ears. Oh, so you want to get off the bus? Hey, stop the bus. I knew this motherfucker was a snake. Stop the bus. He really showing his true colors right now. Bus comes to a screeching halt at a truck stop. Hey, I thought you were with us, and you gonna go say some like that? You should be showing support. If it ain't about the speed limit, so clearly you don't want to be on the bus. Breezes replies, I didn't say that. Nah, that's exactly what you said. So you need to prove you want to be on the bus. Say you're sorry and you want to be on the bus and that you're here for us. Breezes responds, I'm sorry. I want to be the bus and I support your cause. Okay, cool. We forgive you. But you got to prove to us from this This step forward, you have to take all actions to prove to us that you're really an ally. Brees nods, bus gets back on the road, and they continue on their journey. Is this how we treat known allies? Are we this emotionally insecure that we needed Drew Brees to say the right thing, even though he's already said he supported the cause back in 2017? Are we that emotionally insecure that we needed to hear him say it to validate our emotions and our cause in that moment? That man had a belief, and he refused to upset his belief. However, he still found a way to support the cause. I am ashamed at some of our black leaders, Malcolm Jenkins, jumping on Twitter. Shut the fuck up, Drew Brees. You were once a friend. And then was the first person to accept his apology, telling me that it was an overly emotional response. I'm ashamed at someone like Shannon Sharpe saying Drew Brees should retire. You didn't say that in 2017 when he said it. Is it that we really needed him to say he didn't agree with police brutality ahead of his stance? Did we need that? I didn't. This man clearly proved his allegiance in 2017, and nothing had changed since then except more angry people. I'm ashamed that someone like Skip Bayless saying that Drew Brees showed his true colors. Why are you instigating? Why are you feeding the angry mass that called this man a racist when it's obvious that this man is raising kids in his home not to be racist? Drew Brees is already doing his part, was already doing his part, has continued to do his part, did not deserve the overall emotional actions and responses. This man received death threats because a lot of you need a white man to validate your emotions and your cause. Asking that man to continue proving himself is like when they asked Kevin Hart to continue apologizing about something he'd already apologized for. Why does he have to apologize again? Why did Drew Brees need to clarify himself again? Did we forget? Or are we just overly emotional and overly sensitive right now? I talked to a friend in Ryan who, when he contacted me, he wanted to talk about the issue. And the first thing he did was say, I'm with Malcolm Jenkins. And at the time, I hadn't heard what Malcolm Jenkins had said. So I find a video of it, and my response was, that's really unfortunate. Do you see the type of people you're following? You're following emotional leaders. Leaders don't have the time to be overly emotional. They don't have the privilege to let their emotions control their actions. Malcolm Jenkins had this man's phone number. He could have contacted him. Instead, he jumped on social media and caused a gigantic ruckus because he needed validation. Was Drew Brees tone deaf? Maybe, possibly. But had he not already put his stake in the ground on his position before, I might agree with that. But because this man had already stated his allegiance when these issues first came to bubble up in 2017. I might agree with that, but he had done that already. There was absolutely no need for him to reiterate to anybody his position unless you're emotionally insecure and you needed validation. I would like to see y'all go that hard at actual races because y'all took it to Drew Brees really hard. Really hard. Called him a racist. Call anybody defending him a coon. And you know what's sad? The youngest player in the camp, or one of the youngest, Marcus Davenport, seemed to get it. That young man said Drew Brees already gave us his stance. And all he did was give his opinion on the flag. Do we really have to agree with everything? No, we don't, Marcus Davenport. We don't. But apparently we have a group of weak-minded individuals, 30-plus-year-old individuals, 40, 50-plus-year-old individuals that emotionally respond to things, and we call them our leaders. But that's who you want to go to battle with. That's who you want to go to war with. Not I. I don't condone that. That is not how you treat allies. That's how you treat the enemy, not allies. And Drew Brees was never your enemy. I am ashamed of a lot of you. A lot of you. Now, moving on, the players have sent a video to the league requesting the things that they wanted to hear them say. Roger Goodell immediately responded and, in a nutshell, said that we apologize for not listening to the players. Now, you don't think the league and some of these other companies and people that aren't really on your side, you don't think they saw how you responded to Drew Brees, huddled up and said, we got to say the right thing at the right time, or else the backlash is going to be too much and we don't want to be associated with the backlash. But that doesn't mean that they're on your side. So let's look into what Goodell said, because not listening is a passive act. You don't have to do anything to not listen. However, paying Malcolm Jenkins $89 million, or working with Malcolm Jenkins to donate $89 million to shut the players up, is an active action. That's called silencing. The same Malcolm Jenkins that you want to follow behind also took hush money for something that he said was a good first step. And yet, if you forward to 2020, 3 years later, we're calling Goodell's response a good first step all over again. Interesting, isn't it? Do not let this be a situation where a kid likes this girl. He just wishes that she would give him some attention. And he thinks about her day in and day out. He just wants her attention. Just say hello to me. And one day she does. And he doesn't have anything to say. Now that you've gotten the league's attention, what's next? Because you don't need the league to fold and give you money. It's never been about having them open up their pocketbooks. This is not something that should be negotiated. The league depends on its black players for their money. They should be willingly donating anyway, without negotiating to have you shut up. So I hope that the young leaders who have led this charge have a plan beyond getting their attention, because you need them to fold. You don't need them to negotiate right now. They need to fold. Can you do it? I love you today. I'll be here tomorrow. They're not gonna